Wait. Unahin ko nang sabihin na hindi enough ang 2 days para sa Seattle. Pero kung yun lang ang meron kayo, and if you play this right, pwede mo pa rin ma-enjoy ang city na to na yung phone mo punong-puno ng pictures and ang puso mo half broken and aching for more. Hey there, poor traveler! We are Vince and Josh. Sa video na to, isi-share namin sa inyo ang isang sample Seattle itinerary complete with budget breakdown. Pero hindi ito yung actual itinerary namin nung nag-visit kami sa Seattle ha. We actually stayed a little bit longer and visited more attractions than what's featured here. Pero ito yung itinerary na we wish we followed if we knew back then kung ano yung alam namin ngayon. This itinerary assumes na darating ka the previous evening or in the early morning nung day 1. Hindi na natin i-flesh out yung arrival process sa Seattle-Tacoma International Airport and pati na rin yung transfer to the city center kasi na-discuss na natin yan in our previous 2 videos. Yan yung Seattle arrival vlog and yung travel guide natin. So, panoorin nyo muna yon if hindi nyo pa nagagawa. Pero sa ngayon, let's start with Day 1 Seattle Center. Itong Seattle Center ay isang cultural complex na originally itinayo for the 1962 World's Fair. And marami mga iconic attractions dito. Dito mo makikita ang Space Needle, Chihuly Garden and Glass, and ang MoPop or Museum of Pop Culture. Pati na rin ang Pacific Science Center na all within easy walking distance of each other. Yung vibe sa area is medyo retro-futuristic. Kasi nga, it reflects yung World's Fair origins niya. Yung mga attractions na na-mention ko ay covered by the Seattle City Pass. If you plan on visiting all 4, kumuha ka nito kasi it will give you a big discount. Sa video na to, we'll show you the cost of entrance fees if mag-decide ka na hindi kumuha ng pass. Pero kung kukuha ka nito, wag mo na lang pansinin yung mga entrance fees na madi-display. Yung City Pass costs $129, which includes admission to the Space Needle, Seattle Aquarium, and 3 pang attractions of your choice. Galing sa list na to. So, total of 5 attractions yan. Pero if 3 lang yung gusto mong bisitahin, ang kunin mo na lang is yung C3 variant instead, which costs $102 lang. So, yung main na City Pass is 5 attractions, tapos itong C3 is 3 attractions. Pwede mong makuha yan sa Klook. Ilalagay natin yung link sa description ng video na to and pati na rin sa pinned comment. So, punta na tayo sa first stop natin. Space Needle. Malamang nakita mo na to sa Sleepless in Seattle, sa Grey's Anatomy, and sa iba pang mga movies or series. And ngayon, it's your turn. If papasok ka, brace yourself for a view of the city and ng Mount Rainier din na nagdo-dominate sa southern horizon. Pero to be honest with you, we skipped it kasi kulang talaga kami sa oras and hindi naman din kami masyadong interested na sa mga views mula sa skyscrapers. Hindi katulad dati. Ang mas hinahanap namin is yung view na nandun yung skyscraper sa frame. Alam niyo yan? And meron tayong lookout or viewpoint na ganyan. Mamaya papakita namin sa inyo. 10 a.m. nagbubukas itong Space Needle. So kung papasok ka, siguro before noon ka matatapos and malamang gutom ka na. Pero sa ngayon, don't worry about trying to find local food kasi tomorrow yun yung gagawin natin mostly. For now, it's all about museums and yung operating hours nila medyo maigsi. So just find something na mabilis nyong makakain or hindi masyadong magti-take ng time. Pwedeng humanap ka lang ng cafe sa vicinity or kahit fast food, may McDonald's around the area. Basta yung mabilis lang kasi wala tayong masyadong time. So whatever is easiest to access, okay lang yan. By the way, naglakad lang kami mula sa hotel namin papunta dito sa Space Needle. Kasi ang lapit lang nito sa pinagsastayan namin. If meron kayong upcoming trip and naghahanap kayo ng place to stay, book kayo with Agoda and get up to 5,800 pesos na discount. Just visit thepoortraveler.net/Agoda para ma-redeem nyo yung discount voucher or enter the promo code AGODATPT on the coupons tab of the Agoda app. Tapos, kapag nakapili na kayo ng hotel and ng room, sa checkout page, enter Agoda TPT again. Kailangan all caps. It will give you 10% off, capped at 100 USD or 5,800 based on current conversion. Pero syempre, nagbabago yan. If you prefer Klook, visit lang kayo sa thepoortraveler.net/Klook to automatically redeem our Klook discount voucher or use promo code thepoortravelerKlook. Katabi lang ng Space Needle yung next stop natin, which is Chihuly Garden and Glass. Dito naman, prepare to have your mind blown and your understanding of glass completely recalibrated. Dito, showcase yung works ni Dale Chihuly na isang glass wizard na dito sa Seattle nakabase. And kapag chine-check out mo yung mga rooms and nag-a-admire nung mga collections dito, mamamangha ka talaga kasi ang galing, hindi mo ma-imagine kung paano nagawa yung ganun ka complicated or ka-intricate na design na glass talaga yung material. Nung bumisita kami, some parts of the museum were closing early kasi binook daw for a private event, so yun yung pinrioritize namin. Pinuntahan muna namin yon bago pa magsara, and then tsaka namin check out yung ibang galleries. Merong room na yung ceiling ay covered in glass. Medyo nagtagal kami dito kasi maganda siyang photo spot. And meron ding room na puro massive spheres. Meron ding parang interior garden, pero instead of halaman, puro mga glassworks yung naka-display. And meron ding totoong garden sa labas, pero naka-incorporate yung mga glass sculptures kasama ng mga totoong plants.
Dito na tayo sa Chihuly Garden. And yan, yung mga makikita dito is, like for example,
ayan. Akala nyo halaman, hindi yan halaman. Hindi yan totoong halaman. Made out of glass yan.
Pero don't be too disappointed if hindi mo ma-capture perfectly yung ganda ng mga pieces in real life kasi mas maganda talaga siya in person kesa sa photos. Anyway, after this, punta na tayo sa next stop, which is the Museum of Pop Culture. Siguro by this time, mga 2:30 p.m. na. Itong MoPop, or Museum of Pop Culture, yung building nito ay mukhang smashed guitar, which tells you everything you need to know about what's inside. This is where Seattle celebrates its cultural legacy. Kasama na yung music scene nila, which gave us Nirvana, Pearl Jam, and Hendrix. There were also rooms about horror, sci-fi, and video games. And nung bumisita kami, meron pang special collection dedicated to Asian horror comic books. And yes, may mga nakita tayo ng mga Filipino titles na I used to read nung bata pa ako. So medyo nostalgia overload siya. Don't try to see everything in one visit kasi hindi yan mangyayari. Masyado siyang malaki and maraming laman para makita mo lahat dito sa time na meron tayo. Instead, unahin mo yung mga sa tingin mo nagsispeak sa'yo. I-prioritize mo sila and then kapag may time ka pa later to spare, then tsaka mo i-check out yung ibang mga collections. By 5 p.m., labas ka na and lakad ka papunta sa International Fountain. Yung tubig dito, nag-shoot 120 feet into the air, tapos naka-sync siya sa music. May makikita kayo mga bata naglalaro, and yung mga locals, nag-chill lang sa mga benches na nakaposition around the fountain. And tulad ng marami dito sa Seattle Center, itong fountain na to was built for the 1962 World's Fair. Walang entrance fee dito. At around 5:30 p.m. or depende kasi sa season so i-time nyo na siguro about an hour before sunset, book an Uber papunta sa Kerry Park. May bus naman pero mahirap sakyan kasi meron pa ring lakad involved, medyo uphill ito. So, i-Uber nyo na dire-diretso. Kung group naman kayo, hindi na yun ganun kamahal. I mean, mahal pa rin siya, pero hindi na siya ganun kasakit. Alam niyo yan. So, itong Kerry Park, maliit lang siya na neighborhood park. Pero, nasa hilltop kasi siya. So, maganda yung view. Makikita mo yung Space Needle na nagsistick out and punctuating the skyline. Tapos sa baba niya, nandun yung downtown Seattle. And beyond it, yung Elliott Bay. And in the distance, if maganda yung weather and clear yung langit, makikita mo rin yung Mount Rainier presiding majestically over everything. So stay ka dito sa park na to until lumubog yung araw. If it's not too cloudy, maganda yung magiging colors nung langit. Tapos 'di ba, may foreground ka kasi na skyline. And kapag ka nakalubog na yung araw, medyo padilim na, pwede ka na maglakad pababa. And ang sadyain mo muna ay yung Metropolitan Market. Meron kasi kaming nadaanan papunta dun sa hotel namin. And dito na kami bumili ng dinner. Hindi muna kami nag-restaurant kasi bukas puro eat out yung gagawin natin. So, today, tipid-tipid muna tayo. Bumili lang kami ng mga pre-prepared na mga dishes. And iuwi namin yon sa hotel, tapos doon namin kinain. Kasi yung hotel na binook namin, doon sa Travelodge by Wyndham, Seattle, by the Space Needle, ay merong microwave oven and merong ref. So, ininit lang namin. Okay pa rin naman. Syempre, hindi kasing level kapag sa restaurant ka kakain, pero tipid-tipid, ganun. Before we continue, please take the time to support this channel by hitting the subscribe button and the bell icon next to it. Then turn on notifications so you'll never miss any of our future episodes. We would really appreciate it kasi we're on the road na to 300,000 subscribers. Okay, day 2 na tayo. Gising ka ng maaga, check out early, and if makakahanap ka online ng luggage deposit place sa downtown area, preferably malapit sa Pike Place Market, okay yon. Kasi pwede mong dalhin yung gamit mo, yung bags mo, papunta doon, i-deposit mo para hindi ka na babalik sa hotel. May mga nahanap kami online actually, kaya lang, yung timings kasi hindi aligned. Like, nagbubukas sila mga 10 pa or 11 pa, itong itinerary na to, maaga pa lang magsa-start na tayo to maximize yung limited time that we have. So, baka you might still end up na ide-deposit mo pa rin yung bag mo sa hotel reception kung saan ka nagsistay. Tapos, pick upin mo na lang later. Okay lang din naman yun. From the hotel na malapit sa Seattle Center, naglakad lang kami papunta sa first stop natin today, which is the Olympic Sculpture Park. Dito sa park na to, ang pinaka parang centerpiece is itong Eagle by Alexander Calder. 9 tons ito of bolted steel na kulay pula. It's massive and playful and medyo seryoso din tingnan all at once. Tapos, in front of it, facing Elliott Bay, may hilera ng mga upuan. Tapos, marami pang ibang sculptures scattered throughout the area ha. And each one in conversation with the landscape. Nandyan yung Wake ni Richard Serra, yung Split ni Roxy Payne, and marami pang iba. So, kung mahilig ka sa art or sculpture in particular, daan ka dito. By 9 a.m., you've probably reached the waterfront proper na, and malapit lang dyan yung Pike Place Market, which is just starting to wake up. Marami sa mga stalls dito magbubukas pa lang, pero don't worry, ang una naman nating pupuntahan ay maaga talaga nag-o-open. And yes, magpo-food trip agad tayo. And ang uunahin natin ay ito, Beecher's Handmade Cheese. Sikat ito for making cheese right there sa shop. And yes, pwede mong panoorin kasi meron silang glass windows. Kahit nasa labas ka, makikita mo kung paano nila ginagawa throughout the day. Yung signature product nila is yung flagship na aged na semi-hard cheese. Pero if hindi ka naman yung type na pumapapak ng cheese, ang orderin mo is yung mac and cheese nila. Pagpasok mo, usually may pila, pero don't worry, mabilis yan umusad. Orderin mo lang yung world's best na tinatawag na mac and cheese. And kapag dumating yung order mo, hanap ka lang ng spot, tayo ka lang doon. Well, kami tumayo kami kasi wala nang upuan. And to be honest, unang tingin, parang hindi naman siya ganun ka-promising. Kasi parang ang plain niya lang tingnan. Tapos, nung hinalo-halo namin siya, yung cheese niya kasi, medyo thin and soupy. Pero after our first mouthful, grabe guys, sobrang sarap. As in. Alam mo yung sanay tayo sa mac and cheese na parang yung kulay orange. Ito hindi kasi ibang keso yung ginamit nila. Ang creamy, ang rich, tapos yung cheese kasi, it's completely covering the penne pasta. Tapos may konting spice na dinagdag. Pwede mong orderin yung 8-ounce option lang or kung dalawa kayo, yung 16-ounce, tapos paghatian nyo na lang.
Masarap. Worth it. Yung $8.99 na small size nila. Mabigat din sa chat.
Huwag kayong masyado magpapakabusog kasi first stop pa lang natin to. Maaga pa and we have more to try. And ang kasunod na nga natin is itong Pike Place Chowder. Ito, mahaba-haba din yung pila. And yes, kahit kakakain mo lang, kakain ka na naman. Dito, hindi ka pwedeng mag-reserve ng table agad pagdating mo. Hindi nila ina-allow yun. Kailangan umorder ka muna. Tapos kapag bayad ka na, dun ka palang pwedeng umupo. This way, hindi masyadong nagtatagal yung mga tao sa table and mas marami yung makaka-occupy. When you reach the counter, ang orderin mo is yung New England clam chowder kasi yun yung signature nila and yun yung nanalo ng maraming awards. And of course, dito, yung star ng bowl ay yung clams. Pero you could also taste yung bacon and the herbs. We also ordered yung seafood bisque nila, which is a blend of bay shrimps, Pacific cod, and Northwest salmon in a tomato-based soup, pero very creamy pa rin. Lahat ng chowders nila are available in small, medium, and quart sizes. Pero, tinry namin na yung isang order namin ay nakaserve dun sa signature na sourdough bread bowl nila just because cute siya sa video. So, yun lang yung reason. Kasi ako hindi ako mahilig sa tinapay. So, there.
Nasa siya yung sopas na level up. Nasa yun.
Pero in retrospect, feeling ko mali yung ginawa namin. Dapat yung ginawa na lang namin is order their 4-piece chowder sampler para mas marami sana kaming natikman. For some reason, hindi namin to nakita sa menu. Parang napansin namin siya nung paalis na kami. So parang, sayang. Pero kung babalik kami, ganun yung gagawin namin. Para 4 agad yung matatry. Kasi honestly, masyado din kasing madami yung isang serving na in-order namin.
On to our next food stop dito sa
Rachel's Ginger Beer.
For drinks, punta naman tayo dito sa Rachel's Ginger Beer. And syempre, yung specialty dito ay handcrafted ginger beer na ginagawa nila daily. Kung sanay ka sa mga mild na ginger ales na nakikita mo sa supermarket, sa mga convenience store, medyo maninibago ka dito sa ginger beer nila kasi sobrang intense, sobrang bold, and malalasahan mo talaga na totoong ginger yung ginamit nila.
ano lasa?
Lasang ginger. As in ginger na ginger siya, guys. Like, pero masarap naman siya. Not tempered. May sweetness naman siya.
Hindi siya masakit sa lalamunan.
Actually, yung ginger flavor, it will smack you in the face. Lalo na dun sa original version. Yun kasi yung in-order ko para malasahan ko siya na walang nakahalo. Pero yung kay Vince, yung in-order niya is yung pink guava flavored na beer. Kasi according to the staff, yun yung best seller nila. And mas masarap nga naman yun kasi nako-complement ng guava talaga yung fruitiness nun at saka yung sweetness nun, yung punchy and spicy na ginger base. For us, it's served both as a drink and a palate cleanser na rin. Washing down yung richness nung chowder and nung mac and cheese na tinry natin kanina. Just before noon, siguro busog ka na at this point, so magpapababa muna tayo ng kinain. Ang destination naman natin is Gumwall, which is nasa baba lang ng Pike Place Market. So dun sa may dulo, kapag nakaharap ka sa market, sa left side, may corner doon, meron dong stairs pababa. So Baba ka lang doon, tapos makikita mo na. May sign doon na parang, gum wall this way. Yes, these stairs. Something like that. Ayun. So, syempre ako, alam ko naman what to expect. Pero, I wasn't prepared for the reality of thousands or maybe tens of thousands ng mga nanguya na gum tapos naka-stick or naka-press dun sa brick walls. You can be fascinated and disgusted at the same time, I found out. It's the kind of collective art project na alam mo na possibly, hindi ko alam yung history nitong gum wall, pero alam mo yun, mukha siyang organic na nabuo. Or maybe somebody started it intentionally, tapos eventually, it grew into what it is now. Alam nyo yan, piece by piece over the years. Tapos, grabe, hindi lang siya kasi isang wall eh. Parang isang alley siya na puro ganyan. And may natapakan din nga ako eh. Dumikit yung isang gum sa sapatos ko. So, kung medyo ick sa inyo yung ganyan, be careful lang sa nilalakaran. Pero yes, very interesting. It's a testament to human creativity and gross human habits na rin. If you want to find yourself in a sticky situation, this is the place to be. Bukod dito sa gum wall, marami pang ibang pwedeng makita sa lower levels nitong Pike Place Market. Most tourists kasi, dun lang sa surface, sa ground floor lang nakakapag-explore. Kasi hindi nila alam na merong tinatawag na down under. And this is where things get interesting. Dito kasi sa baba, beneath the main market floor, meron ka makikita na magic shop, antique shop, bookstores, mga vintage stores, ganyan. And marami ring mga souvenir shops. For sure, may mabibili ka kasi magaganda yung souvenirs dito sa Seattle. As in, ang dami naming nabili ni Vince. Kasi every time na may makikita kaming store, sasabihin namin, oh, ang ganda, bili natin. Tapos pagpunta namin sa next, meron na naman kami makikita. So, ang dami naming Seattle na ref magnets. May nabili rin kami mga t-shirts, ganyan. And kapag feeling nyo, bumaba na yung kinain nyo and medyo nagugutom na kayo ulit, it's time for dessert. Akyat ka lang ulit and make your way to Hellenica Cultured Creamery. This is Greek-style cultured gelato, which means richer and denser ito than yung normal na frozen yogurt na pinasanayan natin. Tinanong namin yung staff kung ano yung best seller nila, and all of them mentioned yung ube coconut. Natawa pa nga ako kasi one of the staff members started describing to me what ube tastes like, and na-appreciate ko naman, pero medyo natatawa ako kasi parang, hello, alam ko yung ube, no? Kasi it's my favorite. I mean, meron nga akong loyalty card ng Karamia Cakes just because of their ube cake. As in, favorite ko talaga yung ube. Pero syempre, di naman nila alam yun. So, hinayaan ko lang silang i-describe. Yung ube flavor, actually, hindi siya ganun kalakas. Carry lang siya. Pero okay lang naman kasi ube naman talaga has a tendency to be too extra and sometimes nakakaumay. Pero may coconut flavor din naman, so it tempered it a bit, making it lighter and not too intense. Pero it did taste more like ice cream than yogurt. Hindi mo maiisip na yogurt siya. Wala siya yung asim, pero sobrang sarap, sobrang creamy. Hindi lang siya yogurt tea. Sa end mo lang mararamdaman yung asim. Yung in-order kasi namin is magka-share lang sa isang cup yung ube coconut and may isa pa, which is dark chocolate. Tapos, naghati na lang kami dun sa isang cup. And to our surprise, yung first spoonful namin, flooded our brains with childhood memories kasi lasa siyang dirty ice cream. Yung chocolate flavor ng ice cream na nilalako sa daan, parang ganon. Mas mahal lang to, alam niyo yun. Pero parang ganon yung lasa. Creamier lang and wala yung roughness nung nakasanayan natin na ice cream.
Parang nabibili nating chocolate ice cream sa kanto-kanto. Ganun siyang, may ganun siyang nostalgia. Itong dark
Meron
chocolate.
siyang yung dirty ice cream, no?
Wala. May certain emotion na napupul itong Hellenica Cultured Creamery na to Good job, good job. Naalala ko yung ano ko, elementary days. Mm-mm.
Although, Gino ko si Vince na parang, dapat nag-dirty ice cream na lang tayo. Mas mura pa. Pero kidding aside, we actually loved it. It's rich and complex. And habang tumatagal kasi, each bite is better than the last. Whew! Before natin i-end itong food trip natin, we have one final stop pa. Siyempre, kailangan may coffee stop. Marami kang options dito, each with its own appeal. May sasabihin kaming tatlo, pwede kayong pumili ng isa lang, or kung marami kayong time or marami kayong pera, try all of them, no judgment. Yung una is Le Panier. It's a French bakery and cafe serving authentic French pastries and coffee since 1983. Kilala ito for its beautiful and meticulously crafted pastries like flaky croissants and delicate tarts. Yung coffee din nila is okay daw. I say daw kasi hindi ko naman tinry ito. Mas si Vince talaga yung mahilig sa kape between the two of us. Malapit lang din dito yung first Starbucks, established in 1971, pero sabi nila, hindi naman talaga ito yung first Starbucks or yung original location. It's more like the oldest operating branch ng Starbucks. Kasi yung original site was located elsewhere, tapos na-demolish na yon noong 1976. So ito, more like, yun nga, oldest operating na store nila. But here, you can still see yung original logo and you can shop for exclusive cups and tumblers. Pwede ka rin umorder ng kape kung gusto mo. Nagsaserve naman sila dito. The queue can get really long, so prepare to burn some time if gusto mo talagang bumisita. Pero mabilis lang din naman siyang umusad. Medyo nakakatakot lang siya kasi nasa labas yung pila. Tapos minsan nga sobrang haba. Tapos minsan nasa init. So, ayun. But we also wanted to get a sip of other local cafes, so pumunta rin kami sa Anchorhead Coffee. Ito naman, sikat sila for single origin beans and precise brewing methods. Kasi hapon na to and medyo napapagod na kami maglakad-lakad, we were craving something ice cold, so Vince ordered honey bunches of cold brew, which combines cold brew coffee with burnt honey, cinnamon, maple, and creamy oat milk. Yung lasa niya, kasi tinikman ko, nakainom din ako sa order ni Vince, meron siyang cereal-ish na flavor. Tapos, para siyang dessert. Medyo rich din kasi siya talaga. Mas full-bodied siya than yung usual na iced coffee. So, yung taste niya, medyo naglilinger siya sa bibig. Full yung flavor niya, para siyang kapag gano'n nagsip yung gano'n, tapos gumano kayo. Yung nandun pa rin yung lasa, hindi parang yung ibang kape na pag nalunok mo yun na yun. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's. Gaya ng sabi ko kanina, I'm not a big fan of coffee in general, so I had iced blueberry matcha. Sa unang tingin, it looked like your typical plain matcha drink, but yung blueberries, malalasahan mo talaga siya, pero later on pa, mas sa throat ko siya nalalasahan. And I appreciated it kasi ang takot ko dito nung in-order ko is baka mas maglasa siyang juice kaysa matcha. Pero hindi naman. It used oat milk too instead of cow's milk. After mong i-treat yung sarili mo sa coffee, hanapin mo lang yung monorail station, pabalik sa hotel mo kung sa may Seattle Center area ka nagsastay tulad namin. Or kung hindi naman, ikaw na, i-Google Maps mo na lang kung paano babalik sa hotel mo. Yung monorail na to ay kasama rin sa mga itinayo for the 1962 World's Fair. And it still runs the same route that it did 60 years ago. So, sakay ka lang dyan, tapos pagdating mo sa hotel, pick upin mo lang yung bags mo, tapos sakay ka ulit nito, pabalik sa Westlake Station. Tapos take the Link Light Rail pabalik sa airport. Watch out the window as the city passes by kasi ito yung last look mo sa Seattle. Feel mo talaga nabitin. Anyway, soon mararating mo na rin ang Seattle-Tacoma International Airport and catch your flight. So, magkano ba ang magagastos mo if i-follow mo ang itinerary na to? So, here's a summary. And sinama na rin natin dyan yung breakdown of expenses per person ha, assuming you're a party of 2. So, makikita nyo dyan, yung pre-trip expenses natin, yung hotel is $119 kasi overnight lang naman tayo. Tapos, since kukuha ka ng Seattle City Pass, that's $102 kung yung C3 lang. Kasi nga, overnight lang naman. Ang total na pre-trip expenses natin is $221. Day 0, wala ka namang gagastusin. Dun sa arrival, from the airport papuntang city center, ang gagastusin mo lang naman is $3 kung maglalakad ka from Westlake Station papunta sa hotel mo. Kami, naglakad lang kasi kami. Yan. Sa day 1, di ba, pinuntahan natin yung Space Needle, Chihuly Garden and Glass and Mopop. Lahat yan ay covered nung C3 na Seattle City Pass. So, wala ka nang gagastusin na entrance fees. International Fountain is free. Kerry Park is free. Tapos yung dinner natin, kinuha lang natin sa Metropolitan Market. Sabihin natin na yung budget natin is $20. Ang total natin for that day is $46.50 USD. Dun sa day 2 naman, mas in-explore natin yung Pike Place Market. Ang una nating visit is Olympic Sculpture Park. Walang entrance fee dyan. Pati sa Pike Place Market, libre lang naman yan unless bibili ka, and yung binili natin, i-budget natin is $8 for Beecher's Handmade Cheese, for Pike Place Chowder, tapos kung ang orderin nyo is yung sampler, tapos dalawa kayo maghahati, $15 each yan. Yung ginger beer, sabihin na lang natin $8. Gumwall is free. Yung ice cream sa Hellenica Creamery is $8.50. Yung budget, at least may mas mura, kung mas maliit lang yung gusto nyo. Tapos sabihin natin na meron ka ring $8 na budget for coffee. Monorail is $4 per way. Tapos yung Link Light Rail train to the airport is $3 for a total of $58.50 USD for that day. Tapos pag pinagsama-sama mo yan lahat, $329 USD yan or 19,271 pesos. That's assuming you have day 0 ha, and you're spending 2 nights in Seattle. Kasi di ba, day 0 darating ka ng gabi. So, magsistay ka ng 1 night nun, tapos may isa pang night. So, ganon. So, prepare to shell out $329 USD, hindi kasama yung flights. Pero kung ang dating mo naman is early morning nung day 1, 1 night lang yung hotel na babayaran mo. So, yung presyo niyan can go down to at least $269.50 USD or 15,835. And yes, ganyan talaga kamahal sa US. Lalo na dito sa Seattle kasi medyo mataas yung taxes nila, yung sales tax. Yan lang yung minimum ha. Kasi dapat magdagdag ka pa rin. Lagyan mo ng allowance to account for possible price movements, incidental purchases, other costs we may have missed, and in case you decide to veer away or order more sa mga food spots na sinama natin dito. And again, 2 days, hindi talaga yan enough for Seattle. So if you have more days, just build on this itinerary. Dagdagan nyo na lang. You can add days to check out Capitol Hill. Ginawa rin namin yan. Or go on a cruise. Or you can also check out other attractions outside the city center like Mount Rainier. We have more informative travel videos coming up. So if you like this episode, comment lang kayo, like nyo na rin, and subscribe. And don't forget to use our promo codes. You'll see them on your screen. And remember, plan smart, travel safe, and make every trip worth it!